Okay, my word recognition activity had to do with compound words, and the skill was to blend polysyllabic words and structural analysis. It's for grades 2 to 4, and basically the process is you read a book that has a lot of compound words in it. The book gave a few examples of books that have multiple compound words in them, and then you choose the words that are compound words and you break them up, and you kind of try to choose words that can go with more than one word. So like post office, postcard, box, office. So like all of those can go with more than one of the other words, so students can see how they go with different words and not just two that go together. They all go with different ones. So basically I'm just going to run through how the activity would look. You would have your cards laid out, and this could be done small group or during a center. I think it would be a good center because it's easy for them to get out and do and know how to do, and it could be done individually based on if a student was really struggling with a certain type of word or that the rest of the class had already moved past. But I think that it would be the best as a center. So you would have your word cards. They would look like this. They could be based on a book, or if you weren't reading a book, you could just use regular compound words, like if you were just beginning to learn compound words. So you would just have your words laid out, and they would just move them around and make words. So like this would be mailbag, but then they could also use mail to go with mailbox and mailman. Then you could pick up a new word, and you could have box and office. So you could have box office. You could have, what else? Pen, cow. That would be one. There's various other words that can be made too. So that's basically what they would do. Not really much to it, but they would just make different words using different parts of the compound word and combine them together to make the word. So if you wanted to put your students like on a challenge or make it more challenging, you could even give them a timer. They have to do it in 1 minute or 5 minutes or however many words you have. Just base your time off of that. I thought this went with the syntactic cueing system because it's about the structure of words and how you combine two smaller words to make one large word. And they might know the meaning of the words apart, but then when you put them together, it's a more complex word they might not know the name of, so they could use their context clues to figure out that word, and then they would know the two words come together to make a more complex word, and then figure out the meaning of that word based on the meaning of the two smaller words they would already know. Then it would also, syntactic is based on patterns, and these words all have a pattern of two words coming together to make another word. So for the assessment, you could informally assess by just walking around and watching, but if you're doing this activity in centers, you're probably in small groups, so you're not really going to have the freedom to walk around and do it. So what I thought would be a good way to do it, to assess it in like still a fun way, would be like give them a recording sheet, and they could record all the different words that they could find, and it could have the right number of blanks on it so they can know when they found all the words and they're not looking for words that aren't there. So based on the book or based on just regular words, you could have a recording sheet. It could be dry erase, or you could use it as your assessment. You could turn it in. So it'd be kind of like working on spelling and putting the words together in the grammar structure of these words. And it also helps you see if the students are recognizing that the words are like part whole, kind of like math. You say, so if you're looking at mailman, you know what mail means, and you know mail's a word, and then you have man, and you know what man means, and it's a word on its own, and then they can see that this part comes with this part to make a whole. So I think it would just be a really good activity to reinforce compound word. It would be a kinesthetic activity. They can move stuff around, be more fun, engaging way for them to actually assemble the words together. It would be a good way for you to assess if they're getting the compound words, or if they're just putting like office bag together and saying that that's a word. So not all words can go together to make a compound word. So yeah.